Welcome to Retreat You Podcast. So guys, today we have a special bonus for you, so make sure to watch this video till the end. Today we are undertaking a deep dive into, well, probably the most universally trusted product in your bathroom cabinet, your toothpaste.
Absolutely. We use it twice a day, every single day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just assume it's doing its job right. We're tackling the science of what's actually inside that tube.
It really is one of the biggest paradoxes in modern hygiene, you know? We rely on it completely.
Yeah.
But our sources, they reveal something pretty shocking. The very ingredients meant to keep your mouth clean might actually be working against you long term.
Working against you how?
We're talking about things that can actually stain your teeth or mechanically strip away the protective layers.
Seriously. Stripping protection.
Yeah, and ultimately making your smile look darker over time, not brighter, which is the opposite of what you want.
Wow. So unknowingly, millions of us are maybe grabbing stuff off the shelf based on like a catchy slogan.
Instead of the science. And that can lead to years of, well, unnecessary dental wear, chemical irritation,
Yeah.
things you don't even realize are happening.
So our mission today is really to give you that shortcut, to get you informed. We're digging deep into the chemistry, right there in that tiny active ingredient box.
Exactly, because once you understand what's actually in the blend,
Then you can choose the right formula for you, for your teeth, for the rest of your life.
absolutely. You have to think of brushing not just as a habit, it's really a daily treatment. It's chemical, it's mechanical for your teeth and gums.
And you mentioned blends. Most pastes aren't just one thing.
No, almost never. Nearly every major commercial paste, the big brands, they're blends. They combine cavity protection, maybe some gum health stuff, whitening.
Okay.
But here's the thing, those functions can often conflict. Sometimes the cure for one problem actually causes another one.
Okay, let's unpack that. When we look inside the tube, the first thing everyone thinks of is fluoride, the hero. Right?
Fluoride, yeah. For decades, it's been the absolute standard for fighting cavities. No question.
But you're saying it's not that simple.
Well, for this deep dive, we have to make a critical distinction because not all fluorides work the same way, especially when it comes to how your teeth actually look.
Different types of fluoride.
Precisely. If you check the ingredients, you'll usually see one of two main types. And their chemistry leads to really different results for cavities, gums, and, stains.
Okay, so let's start with the familiar one, sodium fluoride.
Right. Sodium fluoride, this is the classic, the reliable protector. It's really the foundation of modern cavity prevention.
How does it work? It's magic. What's it doing in there?
So sodium fluoride is great at helping your teeth remineralize, after acid attacks from food or bacteria weaken the enamel.
Right, they leach out minerals.
Exactly. Sodium fluoride steps in. When it meets the enamel, it helps form this harder, more acid-resistant material. It's called fluorapatite.
Fluorapatite, okay.
So it strengthens the surface against future decay. And crucially, it's very stable. It does its job without messing with other things in your mouth. Generally, no residue, no discoloration.
So sodium fluoride is the trusty shield.
Mm-hmm.
Standard dose is around, 1,000 to 1,500 ppm?
Yeah, parts per million. That's the sweet spot, the gold standard for cavity prevention.
Okay, simple enough. But then we get to its relative, stannous fluoride.
Stannous fluoride or tin fluoride. This one is definitely the double-edged sword of the toothpaste world.
Double-edged how? It sounds metallic.
It is, but it's genuinely a superior therapeutic agent. It's significantly stronger, not just against cavities, but also against the bacteria that cause gingivitis and gum disease.
Oh, interesting. So if you have gum problems.
Yeah, if you have chronic gum issues, bleeding gums, that kind of thing, this is often the ingredient your dentist might point you towards because it has powerful antibacterial and anti-inflammatory effects.
That sounds amazing. So what's the catch? You called it notorious.
Well, that antibacterial power comes from the stannous ion itself, the tin. And it's highly reactive. The catch is, stannous fluoride is notorious for causing extrinsic staining.
Staining from the fluoride.
Yes. The stannous ion, SN2 plus N, it really likes to react with certain sulfur compounds that are naturally in your mouth, from bacteria, some foods.
Okay.
When they react, they form precipitates. Tin sulfide is a big one.
Tin sulfide. And that shows up on your teeth
as those faint but really stubborn brownish or sometimes yellowish streaks. You often see them right along the gum line or in the little grooves of the teeth.
Huh. So people might see that and think, oh, I'm not brushing well enough or too much coffee.
Exactly. They blame themselves or their habits, but often it's a direct side effect of the chemical action that's actually fighting the bad bacteria in their gums.
Wow. So you're literally trading looks for health in a way.
You kind of are. You're getting better gum health, potentially, but at the cost of aesthetics.
So if I have gingivitis, am I just stuck choosing healthy gums or white teeth? Or can you manage the staining?
That's a great question. And yeah, awareness is the first step. If you're using stannous fluoride for a specific reason, you accept the risk. Dentists usually suggest more frequent professional cleanings.
Ah, because brushing alone won't get those chemical stains off.
Right. Or you might rotate. Use the stannous fluoride paste maybe only when your gums are acting up and switch to a sodium fluoride paste for daily use.
Okay, so manage it strategically.
Exactly. Treat the underlying problem, the gum disease, but understand the side effects of that specific treatment.
The analogy from the source material really hits home. Polishing white marble with a cleaner that disinfects perfectly, but leaves a yellow haze.
Precisely. It works, but it changes the look. You have to know that trade-off is happening with stannous fluoride.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. We've talked about the chemical shield, fluoride. Now let's talk about the scrubbers, the mechanical part.
Abrasives.
Yes. If fluoride is the clear glass shield, abrasives are the polishers. Or maybe sandpaper. And they carry this huge long-term risk that seems to completely defeat the purpose of whitening toothpaste.
You're absolutely right. Abrasives are the gritty stuff in the paste. Their job is to scrub and smooth the enamel surface, lifting plaque and surface stains.
What are the common ones? What should people look for?
The two you'll see most often are silica, usually listed as hydrated silica, and calcium carbonate. Their function is purely mechanical scouring.
But scouring can be gentle or harsh, right?
Yeah.
There's a way to measure this.
Yes, absolutely critical point. It's the RDA index, relative dentin abrasion.
RDA. Okay, what does that number mean?
It's a standardized score. Labs test how much of the softer dentin layer gets worn away by a toothpaste during a set brushing procedure. The FDA and dental groups use this to set safety guidelines.
So what are the numbers we should look out for? Like what's low, what's high?
Good question. Think of it in zones. Low abrasion is usually anything under 70 RDA. That's very gentle, like buffing glass. Medium abrasion is roughly 70 to 100. A lot of standard anti-cavity pastes fall in here.
Right.
Then you get into high abrasion, which is anything over 100. And some heavy-duty whitening pastes, they can easily hit 150, 200, sometimes even higher.
Wow, 200. So when the sources talk about fine grit versus coarse grit,
Yeah, they're essentially talking low RDA versus high RDA. A low RDA fine grit paste gently polishes, it smooths the surface, lifts light stains without really harming the structure.
but the high RDA stuff, the coarse grit,
That's like sandpaper. Seriously, it might feel like it's working really well because it scrubs off surface stains quickly.
yeah, that squeaky clean feeling.
Exactly. But what it's actually doing slowly over time is thinning your protective enamel shield, taking off microlayer after microlayer.
Okay, hold on. This connects directly to that weird paradox. The darkening effect of whitening pastes.
Hmm?
Explain how thinning the enamel makes teeth look darker. This feels like the key aha moment.
It really is. Think about your tooth structure. You've got the enamel on the outside. It's clear, crystalline, dense. It scatters light really well, which gives teeth that bright white look.
Okay, the shiny outer layer.
Underneath that clear layer is the dentin. And dentin is naturally yellowish, and it's denser, a bit opaque.
So the enamel is like a thick, clear, white-ish filter over this yellow core.
Precisely. A light scattering filter. Now imagine using those high RDA pastes year after year. You're slowly, relentlessly sanding down that clear, reflective enamel shield.
Oh, I see where this is going.
As the enamel gets thinner, there's less filter. The yellow dentin underneath starts to show through more clearly, more prominently.
So the tooth isn't actually getting more stained.
No, it's protective white coating. The enamel has been worn down. It's structurally compromised.
I never fully grasped that connection before. So after years of using some super abrasive whitening paste, the reason my teeth might look darker or yellower is because I've literally sanded away the bright white surface, revealing the natural yellow foundation.
That's often exactly what's happening. It is the ultimate counterintuitive result.
That's huge. You think you're whitening, but you're accelerating the appearance of the underlying yellow.
Yes, you're trading long-term structural integrity for short-term surface stain removal. And the critical thing to remember is, once that enamel is gone, it doesn't grow back. That yellowing is basically irreversible without getting veneers or bonding.
Okay, that RDA number is something everyone needs to pay attention to then, especially with whitening pastes.
Absolutely. Low RDA is key for long-term health.
All right, so beyond the scrubbing, we need to look at the other chemical players in these lens. They also have their own risks and benefits, right?
Definitely. Mechanical action isn't the whole story. There are other specialized ingredients doing chemical work.
Let's start with one that often shows up in natural or sensitive options. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Gentle reputation, right?
Extremely gentle, mechanically speaking. Baking soda has a very, very low RDA, usually under 7, so it barely scrubs at all.
So what is it doing then?
Its main job is chemical. It's a powerful buffer. It makes the mouth much more alkaline, raising the pH level way above neutral 7.0.
And why is a high pH good for teeth?
Because acid is the enemy. When your mouth's pH drops below about 5.5, which happens fast after sugar or acidic drinks, that's when enamel starts dissolving, demineralizing.
Right.
Baking soda neutralizes those acids much faster because it's alkaline. It keeps the pH in a safer zone. This stops acid erosion and makes it harder for acid-loving bacteria to thrive.
So it's like a gentle passive shield against acid attacks. Great for preventing erosion.
Excellent for that, yes.
But we need to be clear. It's not a cavity fighter like fluoride, is it?
No, absolutely not. It doesn't have that specific chemical ability to bond with enamel and form the protective fluorapatite. It helps prevent erosion, but it doesn't directly strengthen against decay in the same way.
So if you switch only to a baking soda paste.
You lose that crucial evidence-based cavity protection from fluoride. Baking soda is a helpful adjunct, maybe, but it cannot replace fluoride.
Got it. Okay, next up, the main chemical agent for actual color change. Hydrogen peroxide. This is the stuff in whitening trays, whitening strips, and milder forms in some daily pastes.
Peroxide is the heavy hitter for whitening, definitely. It works through oxidation.
Oxidation, how does that whiten?
When peroxide hits the tooth, it releases oxygen molecules. Think of them as little free radicals. They actually penetrate into the enamel and even the dentin. And they break down the complex, long molecules called chromogens that cause stains. By breaking them into smaller, colorless pieces, the stain disappears. That's the whitening effect.
Makes sense, but that power, it has downsides, right? Sensitivity is a big one people talk about.
Oh, absolutely. That's the main warning sign. Higher concentrations or using it too often, the peroxide can irritate the nerve inside the tooth of the pulp. That causes sensitivity, sometimes pretty severe, though usually temporary.
And what about gums?
Yeah, that's another issue. If you have any gum recession where the root surface is exposed, that tissue is much more delicate. Peroxide can really irritate it, sometimes causing inflammation or even mild chemical burns.
So think about this. If you're using a high abrasion paste that's already thinned your enamel, making the dentin more exposed, and then you hit it with a strong peroxide formula.
You're hitting it with a double whammy, exactly. Mechanical damage, weakening the structure, followed by chemical irritation penetrating deeper.
Ouch. So strategy is key here too.
Definitely. The sources strongly suggest that any paste with significant peroxide should also have low abrasion. And you shouldn't use it every single day, continuously.
Rotation again.
Rotation is smart. Maybe use the peroxide paste just 2 or 3 times a week. Give your teeth and gums a break.
Speaking of maintaining that balance in the mouth, we've talked about how these strong chemicals and abrasives can kind of disrupt the natural environment.
Yeah, they definitely can shift the balance.
It actually makes me think I'm always looking into ways to support my patients' oral health routines beyond just brushing and flossing. And lately, I've been getting a ton of questions about Prodentim. It's an oral probiotic.
Oh, interesting. Probiotics for the mouth.
Exactly. I've been looking into its ingredients, and it has specific strains like Lactobacillus paracasei. Research suggests strains like that can actually support gum health and help rebalance the mouth's microflora.
Which might be thrown off by some of these harsher toothpastes we're talking about.
Precisely. It's a fascinating angle supporting the beneficial bacteria as part of the overall routine. If anyone listening is curious about adding something like that alongside the careful toothpaste choices we're discussing, I've dropped a link in the description. You can check out the research and the specific ingredients for yourself.
That makes a lot of sense. If the toothpaste is stripping things away, maybe supporting the good guys helps restore balance. Okay, interesting tangent. Let's get back to the tube. One last really common ingredient, sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS.
Ah, the foam. It's in almost everything, right? Shampoos, soaps, toothpaste.
Pretty much ubiquitous, and its only job in toothpaste is texture and psychology. It's a surfactant.
Meaning?
It lowers the surface tension, makes the paste mixed with water and air to create that thick, foamy lather.
The lather that makes it feel like it's powerfully cleaning everything.
Exactly. It provides the sensation of cleaning, but the reality check is it doesn't actually clean the teeth itself at all.
Okay, so it's just for show. But is there a downside?
A big one, potentially. Our sources highlight that for a lot of people, SLS is a major irritant.
FO.
Because it's a surfactant, it can strip away the natural protective layer, the mucin layer, that coats the delicate tissues inside your mouth, your cheeks, your gums.
Oh, wow.
This can lead to dehydration and irritation of those tissues. And for people who are susceptible, this irritation can be the primary trigger for recurring canker sores.
No way. Those painful little mouth ulcers.
Yes. People suffer from them for years trying to figure out the cause, and it might actually be the foaming agent in their daily toothpaste.
That is genuinely eye-opening. So someone with chronic canker sores could potentially solve the problem just by switching to an SLS-free toothpaste.
It's absolutely worth trying.
Yeah.
Look for formulas clearly marked SLS-free. It could make a huge difference for them.
Okay, we've covered the standard stuff: fluorides, abrasives, peroxide, SLS. Now let's talk about the trendy ingredients, the ones that look cool or natural, but might be hiding some serious risks.
Ah, yes, the trendy traps. These have really flooded the market recently.
Top of the list has to be charcoal toothpaste, right? It's everywhere. Black paste for white teeth.
It's visually striking, definitely plays on the natural detox vibe, but we have to ask the critical question. What are you actually scrubbing your teeth with when you use charcoal? It's essentially ash and grit.
The sources compared it to rubbing enamel with soot-covered sandpaper.
That's a pretty accurate analogy. It's often a mix of really coarse, abrasive charcoal material, basically ash combined with fine, dark particles.
And that combination leads to problems.
A double whammy, potentially. First, charcoal pastes often fly under the radar. They're not always regulated like traditional toothpaste, so they might not even have an RDA rating listed.
Meaning you have no idea how abrasive it actually is.
Exactly. It could be incredibly high, way over safe limits, rapidly thinning that enamel shield we keep talking about.
Yikes. And the second problem?
The particles themselves, they're very fine and very dark. They can actually get embedded in tiny cracks in the teeth, around fillings, or even in the gum tissue itself.
Embedded, leading to
a grayish discoloration that you cannot brush away. It becomes part of the tooth or gum structure.
Oh, the irony. Using black paste to get white teeth and ending up with gray, weakened teeth.
Precisely. And on top of the abrasion and staining risk, many charcoal pastes also lack fluoride.
So you're potentially damaging your enamel and losing cavity protection.
Exactly. Trading proven protection for a trendy, potentially harmful ingredient.
Okay, what about the other side of the natural coin? Things like clay-based pastes or herbal formulas without fluoride.
These definitely appeal to people trying to avoid synthetic chemicals, and they can be good at freshening the mouth.
They often have nice essential oils, that sort of thing.
Right. Mint, tea tree, etc. They make your mouth feel clean and taste fresh. The problem, the big catch, is usually the lack of proven protection.
Meaning no fluoride again.
Often, yes. Most purely herbal or clay-based formulas just don't have that foundational science-backed cavity prevention that fluoride provides. They might feel nice, might be okay if you have almost zero risk of cavities.
But for most people.
For the average person, they leave your teeth vulnerable to acid attacks and decay over the long run. Fresh breath is great, but structural integrity is crucial.
So let's bring it all together. That visual aid you mentioned earlier, the glass metaphor. Remind us how that helps visualize all these risks.
Right. Think of your enamel as that clear, thick piece of glass laid over the naturally yellow dentin underneath.
Okay, clear glass over yellow base.
When that glass is smooth, thick, and healthy, light bounces off it beautifully, your smile looks bright white.
Got it.
But when acids from your diet erode that glass, or when harsh abrasives like high RDA silica or charcoal physically scratch and thin that glass, or when staining agents like the ones from stannous fluoride discolor that glass, the protective layer is compromised.
And the yellow underneath shows through more.
Exactly. The clear shield is damaged or hazed over, so the underlying yellow becomes much more visible.
And the really sobering part is no amount of whitening paste, no matter how much peroxide it has,
can undo that structural damage. It cannot polish back enamel that's been physically worn away. You can't unsand the glass.
That's a powerful image. You really have to protect that enamel layer.
It's everything for the long-term appearance and health of your teeth.
So let's wrap this up with actionable advice. What does this all mean for you, the listener?
The big takeaway seems to be toothpaste is absolutely not one size fits all.
Emphatically not. It's a specialized tool. You need to choose it based on your specific needs, your unique oral health situation.
Okay, so let's break down the choices based on the main needs we discussed, like a quick selection guide.
Perfect. Let's move from just grabbing any tube to making an active, informed choice.
All right. Need #1. Cavities are your main worry.
Your go-to is sodium fluoride. It's the reliable, gentle protector. Strengthens enamel, low risk of staining or irritation. Simple and effective.
Need #2. Gum problems are your struggle. Gingivitis, maybe some bleeding.
Stannous fluoride is worth considering for its stronger antibacterial action right at the gum line. But you have to be aware of the potential staining.
And plan for it. Right. More cleanings, maybe rotation.
Exactly. Accept the trade-off consciously.
Need #3. Whitening is your top goal. Strategy is crucial here. Look for low RDA pastes, ideally under 70, to protect your enamel first. If using peroxide, choose milder strength and use it in rotation, not every single day, maybe just a few times a week.
Protect the enamel, whiten gently and occasionally.
That's the key. Avoid the high abrasion daily whitening trap.
And need #4. You're prone to those painful canker sores.
Become a label detective. Scan for sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS. Choosing an SLS-free formula might completely eliminate that trigger for you. It's a simple switch that could solve a chronic problem.
Okay, so matching the paste to the need.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned rotation as the smartest overall strategy.
Yes, this is probably the single most important takeaway. Don't just use one toothpaste forever for everything.
Explain that. Like having multiple tools.
Exactly. Think about your shoes. You don't wear hiking boots to a wedding or running shoes to the office, right?
Yeah, hopefully not.
Your mouth has different needs at different times. Maybe you use a gentle, low abrasion sodium fluoride paste most mornings for basic protection. But maybe one evening your gums feel a bit sensitive, so you use a specific gum health rinse or paste with stannous fluoride just for that night.
Targeted treatment.
And if you're aiming for whitening, you dedicate maybe Tuesday and Friday nights to your low abrasion peroxide paste. You match the tool to the specific job your mouth needs that day.
That makes so much sense, especially because, as you said, the big brands, Colgate Total, Crest Pro Health, Sensodyne, are often complex blends trying to do multiple things at once.
Right. And understanding what each part of that blend does, the specific fluoride, the RDA level of the abrasive, the presence of SLS or peroxide, lets you choose the best overall mix for your mouth, even if it means having 2 or 3 different tubes on your counter.
It really shifts the whole thing from just passively using a product
to actively managing your oral health with a personalized strategy, taking control.
So the final thought here, brushing twice a day isn't just a quick scrub. It's a lifelong treatment plan for your teeth and gums.
Absolutely.
And making the wrong choice, relying on harsh abrasives or irritating chemicals day after day, well, you pay for it down the line. Irreversible enamel loss, stubborn stains, chronic irritation, maybe expensive dental work.
Knowing about RDA, about stannous staining, about SLS irritation, that knowledge puts the power back in your hands.
It really does.
You know, we've taken apart what's in that tube, shown how knowing the ingredients helps you make smarter choices. It does raise a kind of provocative question, though.
Oh, what's that?
Well, given how common these multifunctional pastes are, the ones trying to whiten and fight cavities and help gums all at once, how often do manufacturers, maybe intentionally or not, bury potential risks, like hiding the staining potential of stannous fluoride within a total care formula, or not highlighting the high RDA of a whitening paste?
Getting multiple benefits, but maybe also a hidden downside you didn't sign up for.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, what other everyday products that we trust implicitly might need the same kind of deep dive, the same level of ingredient scrutiny?
That's a really interesting thought to leave people with. Food for thought, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really peeled back the label on what might just be the most deceptively complex product in your bathroom.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep reading those labels, everyone. Choose your tools wisely.